morning. Happy Monday. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm Lily Taylor. John Mayer is off today. Before we get to our top stories, we're going to check in with a very filling weather forecast I can expect. I mean, it was a jam-packed weekend.
Yeah, quite the jam-packed weekend. A lot of debris on the roadway. So first thing of note, if you are headed out the door for an early morning commute, you definitely want to keep in mind you may see some smaller tree branches on the roadways. Definitely could impact that morning commute. But really, we're going to start to see the tapering off of that jam-packed weekend. As far as rain totals across the board, we are really seeing yesterday alone about a quarter to nearly half an inch for some areas. This only adding to the already existing accumulation through the first half of your weekend, Friday into Saturday. We saw quite the amounts. Now that the wet weather is kind of scaling back a bit, we're getting left with a little bit more of an impact for that early morning. A dense fog advisory being issued along portions of the I-5 corridor, specifically into the Umpqua valleys and the portions of those passes into Coos County, down into Curry, Jackson, and Josephine counties as well. That is set to expire throughout the afternoon hours, but nonetheless, as you head out the door, yes, it could be a little bit moist throughout the early mornings. We slowly see the sun making a return, and even then, the push for warmer temperatures not quite as strong. Of course, so we'll track out what this up and down means for the rest of your week coming up in just a bit.
Thank you, Bree. In a matter of days, 75,000 Lane County residents will know whether or not their SNAP benefits will post for November. The deciding factor is the government shutdown. Local health officials tell Gold Meadows it's not just a matter of having food, but also having nutrition.
At 72 years old, one Lane County resident says she can't survive without her SNAP benefits. And the ongoing government shutdown, which comes with the threat of her benefits not posting after October 31st, has sparked fear for her over if she'll have food next month.
My concern is that I will starve to death. I get $200 a month for SNAP, and that doesn't go very far. I live off Social Security. I get $1,400 a month, and I don't have any wiggle room to buy groceries.
She said she sometimes runs out of benefits and is now down to $23.
I've frequently had to supplement my SNAP benefits with going to food banks. So many people are going to be trying to get to those food banks, and they're going to run out of food. I just want to be able to eat every month.
Lane County Health and Human Services received a call Monday notifying them benefits would not post if the shutdown continues, and a warning to start planning. They put out a call to action to the community for help for getting donations to Food for Lane County. Officials warned that a day without proper nutrition leads to health impacts on children, and weeks to a month would mean a health crisis in the making.
If a kid does not get a balanced diet and one day they start to experience cognitive decline, it's difficult for them to pay attention, to sit still. There are behavioral impacts, and then certainly there are long-term physical ramifications. From a public health standpoint, we're very concerned about that. If this lasts all the way through November, then we could be facing some health impacts to our kids for a very long time down the road. And, whether it be heart disease, type 2 diabetes.
Local food pantries say though worried, they're trying to prepare.
The shelves are almost bare here at the Arc of Lane County's CARES Pantry, and they saw Thursday night 126 clients. That's a 20% increase of families coming in for food. They're expecting even more of an increase if SNAP benefits are put on hold come November 1st.
It's very stressful on us. We're hopeful that Food for Lane County is still able to supply us enough food to feed the hungry people that come here. Next week is going to tell us how hard of an impact.
The federal government has already reduced the amount of food that they've been sending to food banks. This year so far we've had about 20% less food and money that has been sent to us. So we're already working with a deficit and an increased need.
The pantries are currently accepting both food donations and money to buy food. In Lane County, I'm Gold Meadows.
You can visit our website for links to donate. Residents can also help by adding non-perishable kid food to trick-or-treat buckets this Halloween. That includes items like ramen packets, pudding cups, protein bars, microwave mac and cheese, and mini muffins. Meanwhile, Representative Val Hoyle met virtually with press last week and discussed the impact of low-income Americans losing SNAP benefits.
These are our most vulnerable people. You know, this means we're literally taking food out of the mouths of hungry children. $6 a day per person, right? It is $8.33 billion per month that we spend on SNAP benefits. It goes to so people can buy food from our local farmers. It goes to feed hungry people.
Hoyle blamed Republicans for this, while Republicans continue to push Democrats to reopen the government so they can continue to negotiate issues. Like the expiring subsidies for the Affordable Care Act, U.S. officials are sounding off and on those health care subsidies. Take a listen.
I can tell you the 1.5 trillion in spending that they're calling for, that's not on the table. We inherited a mess.
They added $4 trillion to the debt in order to give a big tax cut for wealthy people like him and like the president and their wealthy friends on the backs of the American people and what their health care is going to cost.
Democrats have repeatedly blocked Senate Republicans' efforts to pass legislation to reopen the government until the subsidies are extended. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the Trump administration won't allow Democrats to be, quote, irresponsible with the budget. Senator Kelly insists premiums have gone away as a result of the big, beautiful bill. The Senate will reconvene today, the 27th day of the shutdown. And this could be a big week in the legal battle over the National Guard deployment to Portland. Right now, the courts are blocking hundreds of troops from coming to protect federal property. By Tuesday, we expect to learn if the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals will reconsider a previous ruling that supported President Trump's authority to deploy the troops. If the Ninth Circuit Court decides to reconsider that ruling, any deployment would continue to be blocked. Meanwhile, the trial in the lower district court case is set to start on Wednesday. That case is centered on the extent federal authority and the National Guard.